Hi, everyone. My name is Julie Roth Novack. I'm the CEO and co-founder of PartySlate. We're going to give everyone a couple minutes to join us for our first session of Digital Day. I feel like I've been talking about the concept of Digital Day for over a year, and the fact that it's here and we put such incredible content together for the industry. I'm just really proud of our team and our speakers and to provide this for the industry. So thank you for joining us. I would love to hear where people are calling in from. If you can just go to the chat, the public chat, you can just say your city and state, what company you're from, or if you would like. It always helps us. We have I think we have close to 800 registrations for Digital Day from people all over the country, actually all over the world. And we're excited to really provide this incredible resource for the industry. So along with me for our first session, I have Chavi, who is our amazing director of product. And for those of you who don't have a techie background, that means all of the incredible things you see on PartySlate on the website. She works with our creative team, our technical team, the needs of our customers, our research team, and pulls everything together and helps us prioritize what we're going to build next. So Chavi, you're also on our SEO team. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, hi, everyone. Excited to be here. So much great content for us to share with you today.
So much great. We're just going to geek out all day long. Lucas, I am just so excited to have our SEO technical lead on this call with us today. Lucas works with the tech team on all things SEO 24/7. I mean, not literally 24/7, but I feel like there's been so many incredible SEO projects that have really made an impact on PartySlate and also helped our customer success team translate those insights for the profile page optimization. So Lucas, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here and to share some of our insights.
Great, awesome. So before I get started, so I see people in from New York and from Detroit and from DC and all over. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, for those of you who just joined, please in the chat say where you're calling in from. I was going to say zooming in from, but we're using Big Marker. So love to see where you're calling in from. And here's a quick overview of the agenda. Number one, our first session, SEO, how to accelerate your digital growth. We're going to do a good 45 minutes of SEO best practices and what to get ready for in 2021. The next one is going to be an incredible panel of both premium members and our team on repurposing content in a digital world. I know it's so challenging coming up with content ideas. What are you going to share? What are you going to post? There's so many great ideas from some of the best speakers in the digital world. Then we're going to talk about building a lifestyle brand with David Tutera. I've spoken to so many of you that are interested in really leveraging your expertise and creating brand partnerships, taking your business to the next level. David Tutera, not only through reality TV, but product extensions and brand integrations, is going to talk a little bit about his founding story and how he's found kind of new revenue streams through creating a lifestyle brand. Then we are moving on. This is one of my favorite topics: how to get published and how to get on press, through press and platforms like PartySlate. So we're going to have Eliana from the Be Collective and our own editor Pamela talking about new ways to think about getting your content published. Then we're moving on to Instagram. I know everyone in this industry loves Instagram, and as we're going to talk about today in SEO, yes, Instagram is critical, but you also have to think about how you optimize for Google. So this Instagram best practices, we're going to have incredible speakers talking about tips and tricks and new Instagram features that can really help you get noticed. Then LinkedIn, I love to geek out on LinkedIn. When people Google your name, LinkedIn's going to be first page. So I'm going to give you kind of just what you need to know to optimize LinkedIn and also some new things that LinkedIn just released. And then finally, we are going to talk about your brand differentiators, how to lean into those differentiators, how to create content around your differentiators, and how to really break through a very crowded market space. So we're going to end the day in my favorite place. Well, my favorite place is in-person events. Next to in-person events, we're going to have all of our speakers go to Clubhouse, and we're going to have a Q&A, a recap session on Clubhouse at the end of the day. So hopefully you can join us. That is optional, but I know it's going to be a lot of fun. So that is our day. So I'm going to do that. Dig right into our first session. We are recording everything. We will have recaps of these sessions in addition to the last 50 weeks or 51 weeks of content we've created. Everything is a free resource for the industry. And I, again, feel, my heart hurts for everyone that struggled over the last year. but I am so excited that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Our organic traffic, largely to our SEO efforts and to all the great things we're doing, has doubled over the past 6 months. We see a huge recovery coming, and I know it's still going to be tough this year, but we're excited with great digital marketing and with the market opening again. We hope we can be even a little part of this strong recovery that is coming. And hi from Ireland. Oh, Miami Beach. We have people all Boston, all over the place. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to get started. And Chubby and Lucas, please keep me honest and jump in if there's anything I'm missing. I learn from these two leaders at our company every day, so I might be the front person, but it's the team at PartySlate that makes me smarter every day. So the agenda for SEO is really a quick overview, and some of you have seen this already, so I'm going to zoom through an overview of what search engine optimization is. We are going to talk about something new, which is Google's Core Web Vitals update. Every quarter, month, we don't know exactly what the schedule is. Google is constantly tweaking their algorithm, and this next update, they give the industry, the public, a heads up on what's coming so that you can prepare and make sure that it's not going to hurt your website, it's going to actually help your website. Then we're going to talk about PartySlate's SEO strategy, just so you get a sense for what we're doing on your behalf if you have a PartySlate profile. If you don't, I'm going to talk about how you can get one. And then I'm going to do an SEO action plan. For those of you who don't know PartySlate, I should have started with that. Many of you have been on our webinars. We do have a couple hundred new people, but PartySlate is a place where people can come to get inspired for largely, bigger scale professionally planned events, whether it's a wedding, a corporate event, a bar mitzvah, a fundraiser, a 50th birthday party. They can find incredible curated inspiration through articles and inspiration, but they can also find the best local event professionals and venues. And at the end, I'm going to show you a profile page so you get a feel for it. But we've tried to create an incredibly easy to use digital marketing in a box, SEO optimized profile page that you can literally create in 10 minutes and update on a monthly basis. And so we want this to be the single best way, in addition to your website, to share your latest and greatest photos and videos and get people onto PartySlate and hopefully connecting with you and connecting with your brand. So on that note, let's jump right in to SEO. So I know I get overwhelmed when I think about this incredible algorithm that Google has, 1 billion servers and 1 million developers working on this, but there's over 900 factors that go into actually the SEO algorithm, what Google uses to determine who gets on that coveted first or second page, and et cetera. But that said, the majority of these 900 factors fall into 3 areas: content SEO, offsite SEO, and technical SEO. And so I'm going to talk about the basics of these, and then also that will lead nicely into what we need to do to get ready. So starting with content SEO, really content strategy and SEO go hand in hand. And so the most important thing, let's say you're overwhelmed with all the things Lucas is going to talk about on the technical side. If you have really solid content SEO, you will do well on Google. Basically what Google is looking for is when someone types something in, this is my typing look, when someone types something into Google, they want to deliver the best content, authoritative content and real content, not fake content, so that these users continue to use Google as a resource. And so high quality content really does a lot of SEO for you. That said, when you're thinking about content, you don't want to just randomly create blogs. You want to think about what are your keywords that are important to your business. So what is the intent when someone types in San Diego wedding planner or bar mitzvah DJ Chicago? Those are the type of things you want to create content around those keywords. There are a ton, and we're going to send all this to you. You don't have to take notes or anything. We have a SEO planning tool that will have all these links. There's tools like Ahrefs, Ubersuggest, Keyword Finder. Some of them are even free, where you can actually type in words that you think might be affiliated with someone that's looking for you. And so you don't want to do things like wedding planner, because again, PartySlate's working on things like that, the high domain authority websites. But again, San Diego wedding planner, West Loop wedding planner, all these long tail keywords are maybe lower volume, but you have a much better shot at actually ranking for those. And it may even be more high intent traffic for you. And so the popularity of the keyword, you don't have to go after these million searches a month. Even thinking about 100 to 1,000 searches a month, or 200 to 10,000 searches a month, those are the type of words that you want to optimize on. Once you have your words, let's say it's 30 or 40 words that you think are high intent, you want to think about creating content on multiple platforms. Even your PartySlate platform, you can create event albums around this content. Your blog, your website, social media channels, all of these signals tell Google that this is a really important keyword and that you are an authority on that topic. And again, I'll have Lucas jump in a little bit on here, but just the quick content definitions, content SEO. There is the structure of a page. Google sends out all these bots. Again, it's not like a person looking at these. All these bots are trying to read all of your content and index it on Google's billions of servers to make sense of it. And so what they look for is metadata, and that's basically the content that appears under the search results. So if you Google something and you see a little preview, that's the metadata. The headline structure, so if there's top 50th birthday party ideas, there's an H1, there's an H2 sub areas. And then alt text is really what the images look like to Google. So they do have image recognition, but they also read the alt text that's linked to your photos. And again, if you're using a WordPress, a Squarespace, those type of things are built in. So I don't want you to be overwhelmed, but I think it's important to know at least the basics of what these things are. Really what we get excited about is these featured snippets. So like, let's say we directly answer with high authority content with really great page structure, like a question about what are the best 50th birthday party themes, and we are the best result. Google will actually put it in a box, which is called a featured snippet, and those get an inordinate amount of traffic because clearly it's almost like an ad, but it's free because it's organic content. I don't know, Lucas, if there's anything you wanted to add there.
Yeah, basically everything that Google is trying to do is when you go to Google, you're trying to find something, and you go back to Google because the last time you searched, you found something helpful. That's everything Google is trying to do. So when you're trying to rank for something with your website, it's because you are ready to provide a service to people that they're looking for that service, and your website should kind of describe that that's what you're about. Yeah. So the pages that you build are the same way. And the alt text, headline, the metadata, all of that should be saying like, this is what I do. This is what like a person who is searching on Google can find from my website.
Yeah, and the cleaner the structure and the easier it is for Google to read, the more likely you're going to be rewarded for that, for taking that extra time. And then I know, Lucas, we use Search Console as a tool to really understand how our organic traffic is working, looking at the landing pages that are optimized. I know we have other tools as well, but did you want to mention anything about how we use this tool to help us?
Yeah, Search Console is great. It's really simple to just allow you to track over time how your pages are doing. So it'll give you an overall idea of what pages are performing well in your overall traffic. And like I said, you can drill down and see like, oh, this one particular page is really driving a lot of my traffic. You can see what's unique about that page, what kind of search queries does it like answer to. Then you can track other things like how good the experience on your website is for most users and things like that. So it's a great tool that you can sign up for. It's free. You just need to have your website.
Absolutely. And then going on to the next topic on content SEO. So we have really worked hard to build a PartySlate profile that has everything we just said built into it. So you have nothing to worry about when you create a PartySlate profile. We were really careful about our H1s and our H2s and how we use your proper name. About a third of our traffic comes directly to PartySlate through a profile page. And so what we suggest to really content optimize your PartySlate profile is, number one, you want to have kind of a long form company description. I would not copy and paste just from your website. Google actually doesn't like, I always say this word wrong, duplicative content. For whatever reason, I have a problem with that word. They get confused by it, and they're like, well, which is the right website? So we suggest take the structure of what you have on your website and change it slightly. You could write it in first person if you're a one-person company. You could add a little bit more descriptions around your keywords. We always say the best thing for event albums are really include the event type, the location, venue names are great. We'll have crediting built in automatically, and I'll show you a page at the end. Themes, styles, colors, the richness of your description. Instead of saying Julie and Doug's wedding, a tropical and alluring wedding at Millwick, that's a venue in Los Angeles, will actually serve you better. Videos are also great for SEO. The engagement on videos shows Google that this is a valuable video. They're taking the time to play it. You can also put really descriptive titles on your videos in the video gallery on PartySlate. And again, all of these things apply to your website as well. So that is a summary of our content SEO. I also, again, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're doing at PartySlate later. But again, the major insight there is you want to think about content that will attract the target customer and the intent, search intent that they're thinking about. And sometimes there's little differences in words, like we use the word event professionals, some people use vendors. So these search tools that help you look at keyword volume, that's all you really need to know. What are actual people searching on, and what do you want to link your content to? Okay, so tell me, Chavi or Lucas, if you guys see any questions. Please ask questions in the forum, because if you have a question, we do this stuff all day long. I'm sure other people have a question too. So the second big area, remember I talked about these 900 factors. Content SEO has a bunch of, like, think of that as like almost the most important thing. The other thing, offsite SEO, all that means is to build domain authority. So Google thinks like, wow, this is a legitimate website. There's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of engagement, that other people are linking back to your page. And it could be anything from a local venue that's linking to you to your PartySlate profile that's linking to you. That's what helps you get more page authority, or one of the aspects that gets you more page authority. So many people are like, well, how do I get these backlinks? It seems like a lot of work. You might be surprised that if you ask a local blog or a magazine or anything, can you contribute an article, and then you link back to your website. You might ask, like, if you've already been published and they didn't put the link, you can Google yourself and say, it would mean a lot to me if you add the link back to our website. It's really important to our business. And many times they'll do it. Sometimes they won't do it. Sometimes they will do it. Third-party platforms like LinkedIn and PartySlate, those are just other pieces of information showing that your website is a real thing and that it's building domain authority. And then the easiest way I can think of getting backlinks is ask for, can I write a testimonial? Some of your event partners, if they have a testimonial page, not only do they want client testimonials, they also want industry professional testimonials. And write a little testimonial and say, I'd love for you to add this to your website. And then, of course, you want the backlink to your website from that testimonial. So these are just ideas. Traditional PR, if you get published, not only is it great for exposure, the backlink is SEO gold. Okay, technical SEO, which is why I have Lucas here, just in case, that I can't answer all your questions. But the basics of technical SEO is Google is looking, 60% of our traffic comes from mobile. It's usually 50-50 or higher mobile. Is it mobile friendly? Is it easy to navigate? Is it loading quickly, which is so important? Is it structured simply? Page speed insights, which I'm going to go through next, is a simple way to see how you're doing on technical SEO. But and I want to talk about core web vitals as well. Lucas, is there anything you want to mention on technical SEO, or we can talk about it later?
Yeah, the biggest thing is that, like I said, Google is trying to give the best result for someone who's searching. And a big aspect of that is the experience that someone has once they land on a website, once they click a search result. So a lot of the things that go into technical SEO are really centered around that.
Yeah. And I think, again, if you use a WordPress or you use a Squarespace, these platforms are significantly scaled platforms that do thousands and thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of websites. They have built a lot of this into their platform, but that doesn't mean that you don't need to check it. And so one thing I always say that's really easy is if you go to Page Speed Insights, and again, we'll send you this link so you don't have to take notes on it, and you put in your URL, which is your website address. I'm proud, of course, that PartySlate has a 99 on our desktop score for Page Speed Insights. 100 is the highest, and our mobile is in the, I think, low 90s, and it's improving with our new navigation. If you're below 50, you should probably, get a technical consultant or get some look at what is going on with your website, both your mobile and your desktop. It's kind of like an SEO health check. It doesn't have to be 99. We are a technology company with a team of full-time developers, people like Lucas that are looking at this, but you don't want it to be kind of in the red area, because that means it's going to be incredibly hard, no matter how great your content is, to rank in Google's eyes.
Lucas or Julie, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Say your score is kind of low, but you've just started putting, all this effort around SEO to try to improve, your overall SEO performance. How long does it take for SEO to work? How long should I wait? When should I check in again?
Yeah, I mean, SEO takes a while. It's kind of like an investment. So it's not like I'm going to be rich overnight. It takes months, and sometimes, sometimes it's immediate, and sometimes it's 1 month, and sometimes it's 3 months. But the technical SEO score is an immediate evaluation of how your website is structured. So when you have that immediate evaluation, that has nothing to do with your content strategy. So you're writing all these great blogs, you're doing all these keywords. This is purely a technical SEO score. And so let's say you are the best content provider in the world, but you have a 10 on your score. I don't care how good your content is, Google will not reward you and get that rank, because let's say it takes 10 seconds to load a page. That's a year in digital life. Google will not send someone to a page like that because it's such a bad experience. Did I answer that okay, Lucas?
Yeah, hit the nail on the head with everyone.
Okay, great. Very good question. So again, just separate the page speed insights is nothing to do with how great you are at a content marketer. It's literally just like, can I see it in a mobile browser? That's super easy. Is your navigation working? Is it fast to load? All that stuff. Okay, so this next section is new. We have not presented this before. Again, Google there's this whole industry built around Google, biggest company in the world, and it's at least the biggest search engine in the world. And they do these updates to their algorithm. It's not like life-changing, like all of a sudden they don't care about user experience, but it's tweaks to the algorithm, and they like to get the world of SEO, people and marketing ready for it. And so sometimes they used to not share this, but now they share, hey, these are the things that are coming. And there's something called a Core Web Vitals update that is coming. It's scheduled for May, it may be June. It's almost like Apple releasing new products. You don't know exactly when it's happening. There's someone like Chubby, a product manager, that's managing it. And so the things to think about for the Core Web Vitals update is not that you have to rethink everything you're doing, but there's 5 key areas that Google has said is going to be very important for this next update. And so, Lucas, I'm going to go through it really quickly, but please tell me if there's something techie insight that I missed. But the 5 key things, again, this isn't brand new, but is the user experience. So if you have people that are like bouncing off your site within 10 seconds, and everyone has a bounce rate, there's no question, but that aren't like spending more than 30 seconds, that are not going to a multiple page, that is telling Google that the user experience is off. They can't find what they're looking for, the navigation's off, broken or missing links, any of these tools that we're going to send over to you, they don't like that. Again, everyone will have some broken links. I think the key is if you have a lot, let's say you created a new website and it's linking to old content, those are something you need to fix. And then page speed, and I don't want to say largely, but more and more people are using mobile, and the efficiency of those loads is really important. And then optimizing photo content, which we'll talk about a little bit later, with the alt tags and everything else, so Google can read what these photos look like, not just from the words. And then finally, really the SEO-driven content, which we already talked about. So again, this isn't like earth-shattering new, but just know that these things are going to be weighing more heavily in the algorithm in the coming months.
Question for either one of you: is there an easy way to know if I have broken links, and how can I check that?
Lucas, you want to take that one?
Yeah, there are a lot of tools out there. We use Ahrefs, but I'm sure that there are free tools as well that can kind of look through. They'll go through your website and go through all the pages and see if there are any links that point to pages that are broken. Just a quick way you can do that is to go through your website yourself and just pretend you're someone who's looking to hire your services or rent a venue. Kind of click on the links that seem most important. Just do a quick check of just the most important things. And in addition, if you want the full scan, you can use a tool like Ahrefs.
Yeah. And again, there is some free tools, and we will be sending out all this information to you in our SEO toolkit. And also in our chat, we have Lauren, head of our marketing team. So please ask any questions we can't get to now. Lauren is working away in the chat and is happy to answer. Okay, so I talked a lot about this before, but I want to just emphasize offering the solid user experience not just desktop. And I know sometimes people are like, oh, mobile first, but sometimes mobile isn't first. And so really make sure that the user experience, it's easy to see your navigation, it's easy to click through. I say, cheap user research is ask 3 friends that you don't work with to like, hey, pretend you want to look for a caterer, you're on my mobile experience. What did you think of the experience? And actually ask them to fill out the contact form. Like, hopefully that won't ruin your analytics, but go all the way through the moment of truth when they contact you. I think that's a really great thing. We do user research all the time, and it really helps us find things that you think are great, but aren't so great, especially on mobile. Anything else? I know we talked about some of this already, but more and more people, again, are using mobile. They might be in their car, hopefully not driving, in between a meeting, and they're like, oh gosh, I got to call that caterer, or I have to reach out to a photographer. So don't forget that, or they're watching TV and they're on their phone. I do that all the time. So make sure that your user experience is solid. Again, I talked a little bit about the missing links. And many people are linking back to PartySlate. So you also want to look at your press links and your profile links. Sometimes I even see people have a broken link with their Instagram. Again, like little things like, oh, I don't need to check my footer. Those are the type of things that, again, Google just doesn't like when those links are missing. Anyone want to add anything, Chubby or Lucas? Okay. So again, the efficient page speed, that's why it's even more important to do this page speed insights. And again, don't be discouraged if it's at a 50 or a 60. That is not like bad. It's just in the yellow. I think the most concerning is if you're in the red. And again, you have to prioritize. You can't do everything on digital. What are the most important things to fix? If you're in the 50 to 80 range, it may be fine. It depends. If you really want to get more traffic through Google, you may want to, hire a developer for a couple hours and just take a quick peek at your site to see what's wrong. And then photo content, alt text, again, is built into a lot of these third-party platforms, and PartySlate has a really easy tagging system that, again, if you're a premium member, our team can help you with it. If not, it's really easy to do it yourself. But again, think about it instead of like, again, I said Julie and Doug's wedding or man and woman at wedding, bride and groom at outdoor wedding in Marrakesh. Like the more specific you can be, the better it is to match a search that someone has with a Google result. And so just, again, really thinking about how Google can view your photos with those alt tags is an important concept and something that we work on. We are very close to reaching 1 million photos on PartySlate, which is very exciting. And our photo optimization is one of our top priorities. Lucas, did you want to add anything on this?
Yeah. For photos, alt text is really important because Google isn't going to use their machine learning algorithm to look at every photo and perceive what the content is. So you have to use the alt text to describe it. And I think this is a great example. You want to describe it in the kind of more specific terms, about what the photo is really about. Another thing for photos is that this largest contentful paint metric that is on the slide is one of the most important ones Google uses to measure the page experience. And that's basically, if you're a user, you go to a website, you are looking at the website until the biggest thing on the page is loaded. Often that's a big photo. When you look into a page speed insight scan, it'll show you suggestions. A common suggestion is that a photo might be too high resolution or not compressed at all, and that can really slow down the largest contentful paint and lower your scores. So always look into the recommendations that the scan can give, and it can point you in the right direction often.
That's a new word, Lucas, that I have not heard, the largest contentful paint, LCP. So I like to add jargon, that this is a techie thing that can help people, especially on PartySlate, where you see the beautiful cover photo and then you see all your photos. We do everything possible with incredible, even third-party photo optimization tools to make sure those photos, even though they look beautiful and full bleed resolution, have a high resolution, we do the photo optimization for you. So again, it's another thing you can check off your list when you post to PartySlate. The last area is kind of the robust SEO content. And another thing I wanted to point out is a new feature that we launched on our profile page. We have FAQs, we have Meet the Team, and Chubby's going to go through that in a little bit. But all of those, you can keep in mind your keywords. So that's why I always say, yes, you have a gut feeling on what keywords are important, but we have a tool. Write down what your keywords are, what you think they are, and then really try to weave them, again, with natural language, not like keyword loading, because Google will penalize you for that as well. And frequently asked questions is a great example. Google has, I forget if it's like a schema or what the word is. Lucas, what's the right word for the FAQs? They know how to identify that FAQs are question and answer format. And they really like question and answer format.
Yeah, it's structured data. Schema is one of the ways that you can structure that data. So structured data, schema, it's all kind of pointing toward the same thing.
Okay, so the structured data around FAQs, Google knows when they send their bots out, when there's a FAQs, a question and answer format, they reward those pages. And so what we've done, our SEO team has identified all the commonly asked questions for caterers, all the commonly asked questions for venues, all the commonly asked questions for event planners or wedding planners, and we have preloaded those questions. You can answer your own questions because when you get on the phone with someone, you know what those questions are, and you can just give them enough content that it actually helps Google identify that there's valuable content in an answer, but you don't have to give away the story. You don't have to like, what is your pricing? You can actually say pricing depends on blah, 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 and you have a whole thing, but you don't have to say my pricing is $10,000. We know that's not how this industry works. So just think about adding valuable content to a question that someone may ask in Google. We've done 90% of the work in preloading the questions, but you also know your business better than we do. You can identify those questions. And this is just a great way to create a lot of content, which is good for Google, but also a great conversion tool to like answer. People are intimidated, believe it or not. Even if you're referred to someone, they're intimidated and they'll get smarter by reading this, and it may give them the courage to reach out and to contact you.
Yeah, it'll build trust with your brand, and Google will see when people are staying on your site or your page longer, reading those questions and answers, and kind of getting the information that they're looking for. Google is going to know that based on the experience that they're having on your site, how long they're staying, and how engaged they are, and it'll help you for SEO.
Yes, and again, for those of you who are asking in the chat, this is a lot of content. We will have the recording. We can send you the presentation if that would be helpful. And then we also have 3 other incredible SEO webinars that we've done over the last year that really dig into content SEO, like blogs, technical SEO, and we haven't yet done a full one on backlinks, but again, maybe that's a topic for the future. So now we wanted to share a little bit about PartySlate's SEO strategy. And I don't want to overwhelm people. Again, we are a technology company. We have a full-time team doing this day and night to say that you need to do all these things. But I do think we have learned so much over the last 5 years that we wanted to share some of the things that are working well for us. And again, you can be part of this through the profile page. So the 6 main things that we do, and we'll go through each of them, is number 1, we do extensive keyword research. So we research those high intent keywords, Los Angeles rooftop menus, whatever it is, and really create incredible landing pages that are automatically created, but also blogs or articles that are long form, and we research, who's the next, who's ahead of us, and how do we have more content or more backlinks to get a higher position. We also do the backlinking. So we encourage, when you're featured in an article, not only is it great for you to post that on your website that you're top planners of New York and link back, but it's also good for PartySlate to drive people back to your profile page, giving us more authority. And again, our main goal, it's not about driving like, hey, PartySlate's so great. We want to drive people to your profile page. We want to help you build your brand. The 4th thing we do, and again, Lucas spends a lot of time with this, but also with our marketing team and our product team, is technical SEO. So we have a dedicated SEO team that's doing this day and night. And then we optimize the profile pages that we're going to show you that really help drive about 1/3 of our traffic. And then another thing that we learned is internal linking is really important. I think you guys can all do that from your website. Make sure you're linking, and you don't want to just like contact, link to the Meet the Team section, link to your portfolio, link to a lot of sections so they can spend more time, get to know you, and then of course, encourage them to contact you.
Yeah, that internal linking is really important because that's how people find their way around your site and find the information that they're looking for. If there's an enticing link, it's something that they're looking for, they can click on that and find more information, they'll be engaged.
Absolutely. So Chavi, I'm going to have you talk a little bit about the profile page that we built. And then actually, as you're talking, I'm going to pull up a sample profile so people can see it.
Sure. Yeah. So over the last year, we spent a lot of time researching what consumers really find valuable on a profile page, because that's, at the end of the day, that's also what Google is looking for as well. And so we added a lot of great features. Julie mentioned FAQs. I saw that get some love in the chat, so that's one of our favorites as well. It's a great way to get more content that's really, really valuable to your clients on your profile page. We also added, oh wait, Julie, if you want, we also added a Meet the Team section where you can highlight, main members of your team that are, and you can write a little description about them, because we know consumers really want to see who's behind this company, who am I going to be working with? And again, more content is valuable for Google as well. Julie, as you go down, I'll go through it.
And I know there might be a slight delay on the page, but again, you can go see your own profile page, or I just used Four Seasons Palm Beach just because they have all of the new features really leveraged. Yeah. But as we scroll down, Chubby, you can explain each of them.
Yeah. The announcement feature was new last year. We wanted you to be able to share, updates that might be happening to your business. I know a lot of companies last year were offering other services, so being able to highlight that to consumers. If we keep scrolling down.
I also just wanted to say recognition. And again, you can start with a free profile if you're new to PartySlate, but a premium profile has about 7 additional SEO-rich features that really help you get noticed and also are great conversion tools.
Yeah. Our beautiful event gallery.
And for the event galleries, I always tell people, like, if you click on weddings and someone's interested in seeing your wedding photos, you can copy and paste this URL. It has the word wedding in it, and actually send them directly to your wedding portfolio. And then, of course, you can do the same with your video portfolio.
All right, so this is one of the newer features from last year, the reviews or testimonials. It's a great way, Julie mentioned this earlier in the session, a great way for you to provide testimonials to either other people or ask them for testimonials. It also links to their profiles, so talking about that internal linking. And it's really helpful for consumers, right, to hear what you or your clients or other people that you worked with are saying.
And typically these testimonials are loaded with great keywords, and it's another great way to tell Google that you have valuable content.
Yep. Meet the team we mentioned. You can add a photo, a title, a name, and a little bit of quote or description about the person behind the business. My personal favorite, FAQs. The team spent so much time looking at what questions should be, that we should offer for you to handpick from, to pre-select from. But like Julie mentioned, you can also add your own if you want to. But we have a lot of great questions like, what is your pricing? And even if you can't say, that's X dollars per person, you can talk a little bit about your pricing structure, fees, or breakdowns, or different seasons, or things like that, that are still super valuable for consumers to understand.
And although this isn't new, kind of your exposed network or the people that you've worked with is automatically created for you. So this isn't something that you have to do yourself. Once you start crediting people or you're credited, all these internal links, which Lucas mentioned is so important, they'll all be linking back to you from their profile pages. So for example, these are event planners that have worked at the Four Seasons Palm Beach. And this is just another great way, number one, to get referral traffic, but also to build your search engine optimization kind of power. Awesome. All right, so I'm going to, unless you have anything else, I'm going to come back to the presentation.
Come back. The only other thing I was going to add was, we also recently redid our navigation, as a lot of you might have noticed. We did a lot of SEO research for that as well. We, like Julie was mentioning, we looked at all the keywords that consumers are looking for and used that to really structure what we're offering in the navigation. So, they search for it, they land on PartySlate, they're easily able to navigate to those things and get what they're looking for at the end of the day, which is, again, what Google's also looking for.
Yeah, so for example, fundraiser decor, like this is a page that is beautiful, stunning, from all over the country, incredible fundraisers. And so we're building great SEO content and links to other sections of the site through these areas. So yeah, take a look at the new navigation. We're finding that more people are engaged. They understand about 90% of our traffic is consumers, like people planning large scale events. About 10% or less is the industry itself, looking for ideas and looking for venues. And so we try to make it as user friendly, again, back to Google, as we can. So if people can just look for a venue, find a professional, find ideas, but really dig right into the type of event that they're planning. So kudos to the product and design and tech team. We really have made some incredible improvements, not only for SEO, but also just for the user experience overall. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing and go back to the presentation. Hold on one second. I know there's a slight delay for you guys, so tell me, hopefully you guys are caught up. But this is the last section that we wanted to share, and then we're going to talk about another exciting analytical tool that we are launching in the next week or two called My PartySlate. So really, when you break it down, again, on the SEO action plan, the core Web Vitals update is really a priority. It isn't something so new or different from what it was before, but they've really given us a roadmap to what they care about. And again, think about the broken links, the how fast your page loads, things like that. So I would just make sure that you take a good look at either Google Search Console or even the page speed insights, just to make sure that you have the basics right, because Google's going to really, really reward companies that get that right. The second thing is just all about content strategy. Create engaging content strategy, but also make sure that it's discoverable. And so again, you have to decide, maybe social media is your top priority. Maybe you're just going to focus on your PartySlate profile and that's your SEO strategy. But if you want to create a blog, or if you want to create content that really gets you authority and helps you rank, pick those 10 or 15 words, those long tail keywords that you want to create content around, and be very strategic. I would say higher quality content is more important than a lot of content. So really think through like longer articles, more links, photos and content, like structure, like our best of section, our articles, we really make sure it's content, photo, really clean headlines. Those are the things that helps Google understand what's on that page. And then the last thing is, again, we tried to put digital marketing, SEO in a box. All these SEO rich features that are automatically created for you on your PartySlate profile will help you get found. It's also a great sales tool, again, outside of SEO. If all of your content is on PartySlate, even like 12 or 15 of your best events, sometimes it's just easier to use that as, oh, I want to see your bar mitzvahs. Oh, here's a link to our bar mitzvah. Here's a link to all our vineyard weddings, whatever your specialty is. It's very, very easy. We view the PartySlate profile as it lives in between your website and your Instagram. Instagram is more of a lean back kind of exploration. PartySlate is more of a lean forward, high intentionality. I'm looking for a venue. I'm looking for a planner. I am down the road. And of course, your website is your owned your platform. If you don't have a lot of budget or time for a website, I recommend just having a beautiful 5-page website that's simple, that loads really fast, that isn't dated. Then you can link out to your Instagram, link out to your PartySlate profile. That is better than a clunky old site that Google will not reward you for. So I went too fast. Let me go back. Lauren or Chavi does Lauren have any questions from the group or the chat, or can we move on? I think we have about 14 more minutes.
I think we've been answering them along the way, and Lauren's answering them in the chat. So I think we can get to my favorite part
I'm
of this.
So excited. We are total geeks over here. Yes, I love my high profile in-person launch parties, and I can't wait to go back to those. But I also get really excited about analytics. So My PartySlate is really a way that you can stay connected, and how a really simple checklist on how you can improve your PartySlate profile. So Chavi, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but when is this going live?
All right. Well, Julie, I was going to end with that, but you can expect to get an email by probably the end of this week from our team announcing it with your link to access and get your hands on it.
Awesome. So like this section of my PartySlate, which Chubby's going to walk through, is kind of your home page to PartySlate. So instead of having to like, you come to the PartySlate homepage and then you're looking for your profile page, you're going to come right here. And if you're a premium member, you can be connected directly to your customer success manager who will upload your content and optimize it for you. If self-service, you're on our basic profile, you can see kind of what your most popular photo is and some other things that Chubby is going to go through.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for the setup, Julie. So, as Julie mentioned, this is going to be the new home base for you to really understand your performance and, more importantly, be able to take action to really improve your performance at the end of the day. The team's been working super hard on this for the last few months, and we're so excited to get this out, get this going. Some of you might have actually already seen it because we did a lot of research with you guys through like different qualitative sessions, surveys, or beta testing, and we really took all that feedback to build this kind of home base for you with amazing features, and it's going to only continue to grow. So my first first disclaimer I want to add is this only currently works in desktop. So if you try to use it, really try to focus on desktop. There's a lot of great graphs I'll show and things that are just not mobile optimized yet. So when you start playing with this, make sure to open this on your computer. And then secondly, based on your membership tier, you might see slightly different information on here. Different tiers have different, checklist items or different features or things like that. So just keep that in mind. It might not look exactly like this. What I'm going to show you today is a test profile, so at an elevated level. So there might be additional things that you see. So starting there, and Julie and Lucas, feel free to chime in anytime as I'm going through this. But the first thing I want to show is how you'll be able to access my PartySlate. Your navigation, the secondary navigation, if you have a company profile attached, will change, so you can directly go to my PartySlate right away from here. If you have multiple profiles, and I set this as a test account, but if you have multiple profiles, you'll be able to access them all through this little drop down here. So you can easily access your My PartySlate for any of your profiles. Then first, when you enter, you have this welcome section. You'll be able to see your membership plan. You'll be able to see what's included in that if you need a reminder. And one of my favorite things is you can contact your rep right away. This will go directly to your customer service rep, and you'll be able to, ask any questions. If you have product feedback, which I know a lot of you often do, this is also a great way to give us any feedback, and it'll be forwarded to my team to look into. Then as we scroll down, I'm going to start with your most popular content. So this content refreshes every 30 days, so make sure to come back and see what's trending. But it's showing your top photos over the last 30 days, and it's showing how many impressions that photo was getting. So this is a great way for you to maybe understand what's trending on PartySlate, maybe more of what you should be adding, or you can even use this, it's trending on PartySlate, you know this photo's doing great. Maybe you want to post it on your Instagram because it is clearly very, very popular. So it's a great way to use this section to drive either more content or use this content across different platforms.
Yeah, Jody, I'll just add really quick, just because not everyone knows the word impressions. It just means anytime someone sees this photo on our website, that will count towards, that's one impression.
Thank you for that clarification, Lucas. Next, I'm going to talk about your profile health on the right. So we have a little score that's based really on these checklist items. Different things have different weight, and if you want to learn more about it, you can click here. It'll show you kind of how this score is calculated. The best you can do is 100. We're at about 78 on this profile, which is pretty good. But most importantly, you can see clear actions here on how to improve that score. We have different things. So, for example, if I wanted to add at least 3 pattern recognition links, I would click on this and it would go straight to your profile where you can go ahead and add these items. You can also view everything that you have completed. And the more you complete, the more your score will improve instantaneously. One thing that we really do encourage is to upload at least one reel event every 30 days. So this one will automatically come back every 30 days if you haven't uploaded an event and it's been longer than 30 days. This is one of my favorite parts because, we can show you impressions, we can show you performance, but we often get asked, what's a clear way that I can improve my profile? So this is like an organized checklist in order of importance for you to really use and improve your profile as much as you can.
I love this just to keep people organized, because sometimes it's overwhelming, like, oh, I have so much to do. Hey, just put some goals for yourself, like do one thing a month. Or again, if you're leveraging our premium membership and you have a customer success person, you can kind of create a game plan with them on your quarterly call on what you want to improve each quarter. So again, one event a month, I know you guys can handle. I know we're like kind of like tough love, like the more content you put, the better chance it's discovered, the better for SEO. So we're just trying to help people become better digital marketers, better content marketers.
Yeah. And as I mentioned, based on your different tiers or what level you are in profile, you'll see certain different numbers or different features that you should access. You can also view your profile from here if you want to go look at that. We also have a very easy link for you to come and add real events over here. And then last section I'm going to show is your impression. So like Lucas mentioned, this is kind of a way for you to look at your performance on PartySlate. It's, how you're performing. I'm going to scroll down in a minute. It'll show you how you're performing compared to others and how you're growing over time. These impressions are not just from like your profile page, but many places across the platform. You can see how they're split up over here on the left. It counts photo impressions. It counts directory impressions, meaning how many times someone's seeing your card in our directory pages. It counts credit impressions. So if you have a credit on an event, how many times are people seeing that credit or that album with your credit? And of course, profile impressions. How many times are people coming in and seeing your profile? This total impressions and this chart are all over the last 90 days only. So you can really see how it changes. And the data is updated every Sunday. So you can come back and see how you performed for the last week. So Sunday is a great time to come in and see what's happening. I'll go over this line graph. As you hover over it, you can see how many impressions you're getting. These are weekly impressions. So it has the date, it has the total impressions. And then the last one is always an incomplete week. And so I mentioned this is test data, so don't read too much into it, but the last week is always incomplete week. And so it'll after Sunday, it'll refresh and show a clearer, dot where it should be. And then last but not least, this was a highly asked for feature for part of this My PartySlate. So this is showing you how you compare to your competitors. So really, an idea of how your impressions compare to competitors in your category, in your market. So this profile example is great. Top 10% is as good as it gets. So this just means you're just doing as much as you can possibly, or your impressions are doing as great as they can. And that is pretty much My PartySlate in a nutshell. Lucas or Julie, anything you guys want to add?
I mean, a lot of people want to see more than 90 days. So on your quarterly customer success call, we still have the longer view. So we can look at a year, we can look at 2 year. But what I like about this is just kind of that instant access on demand of what the last 90 days look like. So it's enough information to say, hey, you're headed in the right direction. And then again, that checklist, I think, is just, we've already previewed it with a bunch of people like, oh, okay, this seems more doable. Like I can do this, not overwhelming.
Yeah.
I love a good checklist, right? Who doesn't?
Yeah, and the score isn't just like some magic number that we want to be higher. It's really like we assign that score based on things that will help your profile and help people discover your profile on PartySlate. And the more content that you put out there, the more content that you have on your profile, the more likely there are to be people who have high intent, who really want to, who are planning an event, the more likely they are to find your profile. So that's why we have this score in the first place, is to help you build the most successful profile on PartySlate.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, this is obviously just our first release of this. We have so many enhancements we want to make. We welcome your feedback. And of course, keep an eye out. Like I mentioned in the beginning, our team will be officially launching this in the next couple of days. So keep an eye out for an email from our team. And we're so excited for you to use this data in My PartySlate to just really take your profile to the next level.
And Chubby, before you stop sharing, you can actually just go back to the slides, because I think we just have one more slide in the presentation. There we go. So that is my PartySlate. So stay tuned. Similar to Google, when they don't make commitments on when things launch, things happen. We do more testing. You never know. But I'm confident within the next 2 weeks that this is going to be live in market. And for everyone that's wants to give us feedback, we have an easy way to give us feedback directly from the page. So I'm very excited about this. And again, this for premium members, this is a way to augment that quarterly meeting that you have to review your analytics. And this is an easy way on demand to take a look at what you can do to improve your impressions. Awesome. So Chavi, let me go to the next slide. The last thing I wanted to just say is, how we can help. So we have about 6 more minutes. If anyone has questions, now is a great time to ask it. But we have an SEO planning template. We have an SEO resources list, like all those platforms, not to overwhelm you. We have links to all of those, and many of them are free or very low cost if you want to use them. We will do an SEO kind of review of your PartySlate profile page. So many people are like, oh, you give so much time and you help. Yes, we love to do that. But we also know that the better your profile works for you, the more we can build our company and the more we can build our brand. So helping you actually helps us as well. We want to help your profile be successful and work for you and have a value. The past webinars we've done are really detailed on technical SEO, blogging, which is more content SEO, and then overall content marketing. So we will send you those 3 links. They are all live recordings from over the past year. And then I'm very excited, our next session, which really ties in nicely from search engine optimization, is your guide to repurposing content in kind of the digital world we live in. And so of course it's great to have fresh content, but over the last year, many of us were forced to be creative on, hey, we weren't doing events, what can we share? And I always tell people, nobody knows when that event was. I know you know, and maybe your group of 20 in New York or LA know when that event was, but nobody knows if it was 3 years ago or 5 years ago. Nobody knows. It's great content. It's evergreen. It is great content. Of course, you had to have that tone for the pandemic, but there were so many great ways you can use that content with the right post to celebrate all your past work and your past the work that's coming back. So that next session I think is going to be really great. So we only have a few more minutes. Chavi or Lucas, is there any final thoughts that you wanted to add to the SEO topic?
Yeah, really, it can be an intimidating topic, and it's sometimes difficult to know what you need to do next. But with the resources that we provide and the links to different tools that are out there, like Page Speed Insights, almost all of them will come with recommendations for things you can do. Something simple. If someone is building your website for you, you can talk to them about hey, I saw this suggestion. Is that something we can build? This all stuff that you can start chipping away. And really, it all comes back to people are looking for something. They're looking for something that you can provide. And Google is trying to find your website and show it to them if it's going to be a good experience and relevant to what the user is searching for. So if you build for the user, give someone who comes to your website the best experience possible and give them the information they need, Google is going to reward that.
Awesome. And Tamara asked a good question about her keywords on her profile, and it's not coming up. I want to make something really, really clear on the PartySlate profile. Our goal is to be a complement to your website, to your Instagram. So really, we would think that the keyword best to come up for is the name of your company. So if it's Kehoe Designs, we believe the PartySlate profile is better suited than a Yelp review, like a Yelp page. Like it's just not going to do the same for your brand. But if it's like Wedding Aisles is a keyword for you, a page specifically dedicated to Wedding Aisles with a ton of content and a ton of links, and that is the only way for those keywords that it's going to come up. So just want to be clear that the SEO optimization really is to get your brand up higher, but there will be cases that links out to articles that your blog posts and others will actually help your content post because there's a link from PartySlate. So hopefully that makes sense. Chavi, we have 1 more minute. Anything else from your perspective?
No, Lucas said it pretty perfectly. Have your end client in mind when you're making these changes. We know SEO can be daunting, but really think about how a client might be using or searching for you or using your company site or PartySlate profile, et cetera. And would they have the content there that they need to make a decision or to learn more about you and follow that? and of course, use my PartySlate and other tools that exist to see how your performance is and what you can do to improve your PartySlate profile or your own company profile as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. This was our first session of Digital Day. Everything's being recorded. We have lots of tools and templates that we can send over to you to help you with your planning. Our mission is to really create this incredible event inspiration platform that makes it easier and more enjoyable during these stressful moments of planning an event. And for event professionals, our goal is to really create the single best way to share your full portfolio, to tell stories about your events, to share your videos, to make it really easy, as opposed to hiring a developer to get everything on a website. So we really want to make that built-in marketplace and photo portfolio tool to make your life a little bit easier on the digital marketing front. So thank you for our first session of Digital Day. You can just stay in place. Kylie, who is our incredible digital event producer, formerly a real event producer, now a digital event producer over the last year, who's doing a great job pulling all of this great content together, is going to end this session and will automatically put you into our next session, which is about repurposing content in a digital first world. So thank you so much for joining us. If you can't be here for the full day, we understand you guys are busy. Remember that we're recording everything, and we also will end up in Clubhouse to answer all of your questions real time at the end of the day. So thank you, Chavi and Lucas. We appreciate everything. And Kylie, I will hand it back to you.